and a former United States Army captain and Chief Executive Officer of CB's Security Services and Consulting Nigeria Limited, Bish Johnson, joins me from Abuja. Thanks for joining us on The World Now, Bish Johnson. Now let's get your reaction on the announcement by the United States President of the death of Bakr Al-Baghdadi.
Well, let me start by saying that ISIS represented a barbaric insanity, and for that reason, I must commend the United States military and all the local partners that had collaborated with them to work together, take on and take down ISIS leader. But having said that, let's be very clear. Al-Baghdadi, before his death, was merely an inspirational leader to ISIS. ISIS had adopted a strategy similar to that of its predecessor, Al-Qaeda, by developing various independent cells, across the globe, one of which is here in Nigeria. So while the death of Al-Baghdadi is, a symbolic blow to ISIS, it will only be a matter of time before they will, reconstitute and find a new leadership and continue their terror of death and destruction.
Like you just said, ISIS also has a lot of splinter groups spanning from Afghanistan to Nigeria. So what does this mean for terrorism around the world?
Well, for terrorism around the world, like I said earlier, is a short-term, symbolic blow, to their morale. But, in the long run, they will still, reconstitute. They will find a new leadership. They will reconstitute. And the leadership we are talking about here is not like an operational leadership. It's more like, an inspirational one. Because even Al-Baghdadi, when he was alive, he was not an operational leader. He was more like an inspirational leader. So all those operational leaders will still remain in place, and they will continue their terror of death and destruction. So we must not take off our eye off the ball because Al-Baghdadi is dead. Al-Baghdadi had been killed, but the ideology of madness and violence that ISIS had represented is still alive.
All right, bringing this back home, does this give the federal government any sort of advantage over ISWAP at the moment?
Sure. I mean, at the short run, I think is a morale booster for our troop. It can help to grow their confidence that, look, all these people are not invisible. They are not aliens. They are not spirit. They are humans. They can be tracked down. They can be captured, and they can be killed. So to that extent, our troops can learn from that. And even our country can equally learn from our, international partners, like those who are involved in the tracking down, capture, and killing of Al-Baghdadi, on how the whole thing all came together to take place. We can learn a whole lot from them and apply that locally here to see how many of the top leadership of Boko Haram can be taken out.
All right. While speaking, the United States President gave a lot of details about how Al-Baghdadi died. What does that mean for those who are loyalists to Al-Baghdadi and then ISIS sympathizers as well?
Well, if you look at the way the man died, he tried to present himself, as a martyr, by taking his own life. He didn't allow, people that he considered foes or enemies to take him out, so he rather took himself out. If you consider that, some of his supporters may see him to be a murderer because of the way he died, but in actuality, he died like a coward because he didn't fight. He was unable to take out anyone before he was taken out.
If I may comment, people there are fears, security fears or security concerns that because the president, which is the United States president, gave a lot of details which people thought were classified information, that might generate emotions amongst ISIS sympathizers. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to some, some commentators who said that the president, gave too much details that could, cause, his sympathizers to begin to take up more arms against the United States. I've heard people say that. But the truth of the matter is that the inspirational leader of ISIS, Bakr Al-Baghdadi, is dead. He's dead, and he's dead for good. And for anyone who would think that he's going to rise up and take his place, he's probably going to meet the same fate that Bakr Al-Baghdadi met. It's as simple as that.
What should be the strategy for the U.S. now? We know that the U.S. has pulled troops out of Syria, leaving the courts, in Syria. So what should be the strategy now going forward? Okay,
because your comment, I could barely hear you. You're saying what would be the strategy of the United States going forward now that Al-Baghdadi has been taken out?
Yes, that's the question.
Well, I don't think that the United States should change its strategy. What the United States has been doing recently is to try to leave, a small number of force in Syria to continue to fight, mostly, special forces, to continue to work with the local partners in mostly gathering intelligence, training, and making sure that ISIS does not reconstitute. So going forward, I don't think that any of those strategies is going to change. The only change that we are anticipating, that we are expecting, based on the announcement of the United States president, is that they will now bring in tanks, and this is mostly in northeast Syria, where they will be securing oil wells so that they don't fall into the hands of ISIS again. As you may recall, when ISIS ravaged and took over 1/4 of Iraq and almost half of Syria, they took over some oil wells, and they were able to run those oil wells. It was a very lucrative business for them, and that was how they were able to generate a lot of funds to run this, deadly terror organization. So that is the only change we see. America will continue to, gather intelligence, track down the lieutenants of Bakr Al-Baghdadi anywhere they rear their heads, and take them out.
All right, former United States Army Captain Bish Johnson, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us on this issue.